Hey guys. Hey guys. So I'm
Hello.
gonna wait for people in the chat to pile in before we start talking about what's going on here. Hey guys. What's up, everybody? Let me know how our audio and visuals are. Please let me know.
Looks like the visual's good.
Yeah. So it's weird because we're actually together, which is like this is the first time they've ever seen us like actually in the same place legitimately. Oh, shut up. Shut up, phone. Shut up, Quinn. All
Yes,
right.
clearly we are assembled in the far north, lands of always winter, and we are hanging out. Night Queen in the background, staring ominously.
Yes. So everyone's saying looks and sounds fine.
Cool. We've been recording some tasty videos for y'all. So
Everyone's like, yo, is it about to happen? All right, so I'm gonna rip the band-aid off, just tell you guys what's going on. All right, guys. So like I told you guys last week that I got messaged by one of the executive producers for the Dune movie, the upcoming Denis Villeneuve Dune movie, right? And I did, and they were like, yeah, we want you to come on. We want you to do this interview on your channel. And like this is you guys know who this person is. You know who you know these. I'm not gonna mention anybody's name, but like you know who they are. Like you know who these people are. They're very famous, I guess, kind of whatever, you know. But anyway, they were like, we want you to do this interview. And he was like, ask your audience a bunch of questions. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. That's what I did. Tweet it out to you guys, post it to Facebook, post it to YouTube. Huge response. Hundreds of questions, over 1,000 questions. I got way more than 1,000 questions. Everyone was really excited. Then a couple of days later, I got a message from the same executive producer. Something changed. We don't know what changed. It was studio fuckery, whatever. But basically, we can't do the interview. No, I shouldn't say it like that. We will do the interview, but the interview will involve more people than the initial guy. So we will do the interview, but this time, Brian Herbert's going to be there, and also Kevin J. Anderson, and also somebody else, right? So, but the thing is, they say it can't happen until the movie is out. So we had to push it to after Dune is already out, which kind of defeats the entire purpose, right? Because like the whole, I know you guys are disappointed. Everybody's disappointed. Even the person that was messaging me back and forth was super nice about it, and they were all like, and they assured me that we're still going to be able to do the interview. It's going to be fine, and it's going to be now with Brian and Kevin J. Anderson, and then also somebody else who I'll keep it on the down low. I'll keep it secret. But yeah, so it's something with the studio. We don't know exactly how it is, you know, like the powers that be, whatever. They said we couldn't do it before the movie. They said we got to wait until after the movie actually comes out. And like that's pretty much all I know. That's what they told me. That's all I know. Out of my control. I can't change anything. I'm really disappointed. I've been like sitting for days, like thinking about how I'm going to break this news to the audience because I wish that I could have had like some kind of buffer time so that I could have waited to announce this and to ask everybody for questions and have everyone get really excited and submit literally like hundreds and hundreds of questions. And then have to have like because I had like big YouTubers and people that I didn't really know messaging me being like, hey, can you ask this specific question for me? Can you do this? Can you do that? And a lot of really good questions. And we'll go through some of the best questions, just look at them. But yeah, as far as it stands right now, and we did try and make something work. As far as it stands right now, we won't be able to do it until after, and I guess till December. So yeah, but the cool thing about this, and I'm really grateful, I want to say, that they even messaged me, because I know it's really disappointing right now, but the fact that they're even letting me do anything, and like the fact that they're willing to come on and let me do this interview and come to me is like really great still. So that's the deal with it, guys. And
like I told Quinn when he got the news, because we were hanging out, when you got the email, was it's just how Hollywood works. Those things, it's a big project. It's a lot of people involved, especially with something like Dune. There's multiple interests involved. You've got the people making the movie, the people in charge of various parts of the estate, and it's just a lot of cooks in the kitchen. So sometimes one cook's like, hey, wouldn't it be great if we threw in some spice? and the other cook's like, oh no, I've got this spice over here already set aside. So as far as the publicity goes, how they're planning on building the hype, it could be that, you know, the left hand had a plan and the right hand had a plan. And
yeah, because if you look at the way like the Dune, I guess the state is split, it's split between like various different people. So who knows? Maybe I don't know. Like things change quick when it involves like these production companies and movies and crap like that.
yeah, so the main thing about it is just to kind of be cool about it, and hopefully something works out in the future. And
Yeah,
like you said, they've identified you as a good conduit to the fandom, rightly so, for all the hard work you've put in. And I think everyone was super happy to see you get that attention, and hopefully it'll still come down the pipe, you know.
And what's great about it, like I said, the executive producer that immediately messaged me. Well, I'll tell you guys this. What was cool is that.
Oh, I made an unintentional spice joke.
Yeah.
Sorry. I didn't even realize.
But what was cool is that the executive producer that messaged me initially said he had been watching my videos and he really liked my videos. So when they had to cancel it, when whoever was above him or whatever canceled it, he was very sympathetic to me. So I really, really, really do appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to continuing this interview like later on. And it's fine, yeah. But we can go through some of the best questions that like we did get, just because like I said, hundreds of questions. A lot of them are like really upvoted. So I can go look and just like point out some of the, just give you guys a taste. And also, I think once we actually go and actually do the interview, one of the topics of discussion will be you know, the whole fandom schism involving, you know, the Brian books versus the Frank Herbert books. It's one of the things specifically that I was told that we will be discussing in the interview. So that'll get pretty spicy, I guess.
See if you can dig up the elusive notes of Frank Herbert.
yeah. Let's see if we can pick.
I was telling Quinn, I was like, we got to think of sneaky, tricky questions to ask.
Sneaky, yeah.
But
all right, so I guess I could, let's see what you guys in the chat are saying. Rightly so. Thanks for the efforts, Quinn. Well, see, that's the thing. I didn't really do anything. It was like they came to me. But really, the most disappointing thing about this for me is having to tell you guys that the interview is not happening soon, right? Because I specifically said in my initial post, oh, it's happening in a few days. And so I come out like kind of looking bad if it's now not going to happen for several months. And in fact, after the movie, because like the big thing is, we wanted this. Everyone's really excited because we haven't seen anything about the movie yet.
yeah.
So we wanted that little bit, but you know, it's fine. It'll still happen.
I told you everyone would understand.
Yeah.
And anyone, again, that's dealt with Hollywood, big projects like this, you just understand. You have to be cool and just roll with the punches. And
you know, it happened while we were in the mall, and I was all moping around and stuff. I was like, I'm sad now. I got the email.
Although you did have some fresh new kicks to cheer you up.
I did. I got some new shoes, so it made it a little bit better.
Adidas Boost.
Yeah. All right. So one of the big questions that you guys had was if the first Dune does well, are there plans to adapt the rest of Frank Herbert's Dune book? So that's definitely one of the questions that I want to ask, because depending on how they're thinking about it, are they thinking about it like just Dune, or are they thinking about it in terms of a franchise? And it seems like they are, because they've got the Bene Gesserit show coming out. So I definitely, if this is successful, I could see them doing more, but I'll ask that question.
Well, let me put that question to you.
Yeah.
If they let's assume that the first movie is successful, or if they do it in a 2-part movie, like it's unsure, how much other material do you think would translate well to a Hollywood movie? Like, think about it. Like, I don't know how much. What about a giant worm guy with it?
Well, maybe.
I mean, is that gonna?
I think Children of Dune would make a good movie. Children of Dune is I think Children of Dune has more action than Dune, and it's like I recently actually reviewed that sci-fi miniseries, and that was really good. I could see them doing God Emperor Dune. It's just you have to sell it for what it is, though, like a weird as sci-fi movie about this worm thing. But you know, they do get like gradually more weirder and kind of abstract as they go on. So
yeah, so that would be the main question, is like, how much is there? And of course they can combine, and you know, it's a movie, it doesn't have to be book canon, so they can pull different things together. But
yeah,
anyways.
All right, so the next big question that I got a few hundred upvotes, was what do you consider to be the central theme of Dune, and how will it be expressed in the film? Well, yeah, so that would be a question that I asked them. I know what I think the essential theme of Dune is, which is to question leaders, to question authority, I think, is the essential message of Dune. So
Yeah, they have to. It'd be disappointing if they missed
Yeah,
that. That's a pretty big one.
I think they'll get that one. So yeah. So if you guys are just running in, the deal is the interview will be happening instead of a few days, a few months, and the interview will involve Brian Herbert, Kevin J. Anderson, and another pretty big person that you guys are most definitely aware of. So that's happening. But in a few months, it's been postponed until after the movie release. That's the disappointing part, is that we're not getting it before the movie. But the exciting part is that it's still happening and it's even bigger. So yeah. All right. So the next big question that I got a few hundred upvotes, was how will they be handling the Islamic symbolism and hallucinogenic experiences, specifically how it interacts with Paul's prescience in the film? That'll be a good question to answer them, because I could see them kind of like dialing back on some of the Islamic stuff, potentially, considering how like kind of touchy some of that is for a lot of different reasons right now. But it'll be curious to see how they do.
It would be cool if they just went for that.
I think they should just go for it.
That would be cool.
But
I mean, you've sort of chuckled about the fact that the movie that we do have has like white Fremen who are desert people and stuff. So I mean, hopefully they do a little better.
yeah. To put a little bit of color on them. Well, they definitely are, judging by like the casting that Denis Villeneuve has done so far. All right, so the next big question. Oh, also now too, which will be cool, since this interview now has shifted to being, since you guys know it's Brian and Kevin J. Anderson, if you guys have more questions about that specifically that you want to ask them, then you can post it there, and I'll probably end up making a later post later on. So, but you could still post it just so I can have these questions in my mind thinking about them. All right. Someone says, another big question that I got that had a bunch of upvotes was, the only question I have for them is if they can reveal how they're going to deal with the important inner monologues. That's interesting.
Yeah, we were wondering about, could he be the one?
Yeah, because like I don't know, man. I don't know how that. I don't know if that'll work for Denis Villeneuve. I've never seen him really do that before. He's more of like show through like subtle ways than like do like the voiceover, but like what characters are thinking in the book is really important, and there are ways to work around that for like a gifted screenwriter and director and stuff. So we'll just have to see what he does. I don't see him going the David Lynch route, honestly, with the voiceover. So personally, but I will definitely ask that question. That is something I want to know.
We'll keep making that "could he be the one" joke though.
Could he be the one?
We'll never stop that.
All right, so Mr. Awesome Noob says, ask if they've actually read the books. Well, the people that I'll be interviewing specifically have definitely read the book, so that's not what we have to worry about. Yeah. So
everyone's traumatized after Game of Thrones, but that's all right.
Yeah. So inner monologue.
Remember the tooth. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Getting a lot of love for your braids too, by the way.
Oh, thanks, guys. You like them?
Yo.
Like my braids?
Apparently so.
This is what's always under the hat. You've never seen. All right. So, okay. This is a good question that got a bunch of upvotes from you guys that you guys want me to ask in the interview. Why is Dune relevant in 2020? Why should people watch this story now? The answer to these two questions should clear the scope and aim of this Dune adaptation things. That's a good question.
First thing I think of is the theme that you're talking about is questioning authority and concentrated power and stuff.
That's what it's always been about.
That's always relevant, that message.
Mike is in the chat. Hey, Mike, I'm still hanging out in Chicago, so I'll be back in a few days. Hope you've looked at Tadia, because I sent it to you. Kick you in the butt. Yeah. So what's up, dude? We're just talking about this. So, like, in case anybody's just jumping in to update everybody, because I know I got people jumping at various times. The deal with the interview is that I announced that it was happening in a few days. It's still happening, but it's not happening in a few days. It's actually going to be a few months. I don't know, something with some producers, some upper head stepped in, but the deal is the interview has gotten bigger, and we got Brian Herbert in the mix. We got Kevin J. Anderson in the mix, and we got another person that's going to be there, and we're going to talk the Dune movie. We're going to talk the Dune fan, and we're going to talk everything. And so yeah, so it's changed a little bit. I know we were hoping to get like a before the movie sneak peek thing. I was really excited. You guys were really excited. Everybody was, but it's not happening. But you know, still something really good has happened. Is going to happen. So we're trying to be optimistic here. All right. Okay. Here's a good question that got a bunch of attention. Will the Dune remake tackle the hard R rating? And I think they could, but I don't know if they will. Dune is definitely something that could be viewed a little bit darker. And with Denis Villeneuve, definitely, I could definitely see him making it a little bit dark. So it could still be PG-13, but I don't think I think R would work for Dune, considering how, you know, brutal the visions of the Jihad are and how brutal the Fremen actually are, right? There's a lot of brutal stuff. Like you remember, like, in that final battle, you've got like the Fremen children like running around slitting throats and stuff. It's like it's crazy. So I could that's definitely potential, and it's a good question.
Yeah, it all depends on what kind of market they're chasing with the movie, really.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Someone said I want nudes and drugs. Well, you're definitely getting drugs,
Yeah,
but okay.
I mean, you get drugs in all kinds of children's movies. I mean, Alice in Wonderland is.
But
that's
you know,
no
Denis Villeneuve, someone said they're trying to appeal to a wider audience, but Denis Villeneuve did make that comment like months ago before the movie was even started. He was like, my Dune is going to be Dune for adults. He said my Dune is going to be Star Wars for adults is what he said. So
that sounds good.
Maybe,
I mean, that would be awesome.
Maybe he is chasing that R rating. All right, so someone said, and this kind of ties into what we were just saying,
a little bit of the ultra violence,
a little bit of the good old ultra violence. Yeah. A big question that got a lot of attention that you guys want me to ask is Blade Runner 2049 suffered from lackluster marketing campaign. How will they do things differently to resonate with a mass audience property like Dune? Well, you know, they could contact content creators and do like early interviews about the movie. Wait, no, they're gonna do that. No, I don't know. They were gonna do that, but then they changed it. I don't know, but I mean that question's kind of irrelevant now since I'm not gonna be like doing the interview until after the movie's already been released. But that'll be interesting to see that, and I'll definitely ask the producers. All right, guys. So those were just some of the biggest questions that you guys had upvoted. You guys in the chat got anything you want to talk about? You guys got anything you want to say, talk about? We can talk about what we were working on, maybe LML a little bit. Whoop, came off screen. So we've been working on a big project here as well.
Yeah, hence the elaborate setup.
Yeah, that's why I'm all the way in Chicago. Yeah, we've been working on this Winds of Winter thing.
Yeah, in Chicago, you can see the Night Queen's face in the night sky. It's a lot easier. It's a lot closer.
Yeah, someone says, on God, the first seeing Gwen without a hat or a beanie, isn't it? I think this is the first time for a lot of people.
Wow.
I never take off my hats, man. I'm very much a hat person.
Prune, just know it's Snapple in a wine glass, guys.
More wine.
It's Snapple in a wine glass.
More wine,
yeah. Hypocrites.
Yeah, we're not getting lit tonight. We've got work to do.
Not getting drunk anyways.
Mm-hmm. Not getting drunk, I should say.
But no, we are, of course, recording the 23 most anticipated plot lines of the Winds of Winter. And we've got a few down and a few more to go. And yeah, it's been fun. We've got, it's really hit home like how much there is to do in Winds of Winter, how much is going on, how many plot lines you're going to have. It felt like half of them, the first thing we said was, well, that's about to blow up, or, well, that shit's about to hit the fan. I mean, on half of them, it was like that.
And it's so funny because we're like, we're just going to do this, and it's going to be like, we're going to get through this. And it was like, every single one of them just kept expanding because it's just like, there's so much.
There really
is. Have so much respect for George R. Martin and all that he's doing with this.
Like, we just recorded one about the chaos that's about to unfold at the wall in the wake of Jon's death, between the Wildlings and the Night's Watch, and there's Woon Woon and Baroque and the Boar and Melisandre, and it's all just thrown up in the air. So, I mean, Marine is a mess, and the Dothraki Sea with Dany versus the Khalasar, and Volantis is ready to combust, and yeah, Riverlands is ready to combust.
So much, like, you know, Winter is really the climax book. That's what's going on. Like, all the stuff is hitting the fan.
Yeah.
David Cook says, Quinn, is that your usual hair? Or just not wearing a hat? How did I not notice? Yeah, this is my usual hair. This is how my hair usually is all the time. I keep it braided for the most part. Keep it braided. I just never show you guys.
Won't you braid my hair?
Braid my hair.
Me, Grimlock, like braids.
Grimlock loves braids. We also watched the Transformers movie. which
Yeah,
was
Quinn hadn't
interesting,
seen it, so
from like years ago.
nah.
Yeah, man. Trailer release date. You see, I wish I had more information for you guys, but look, I tried to pry. I tried to pry. Trust me.
And we'll continue.
Yeah, I tried to like, yeah, what's the deets? Give me more deets. You know, they were very vague with a lot of stuff. They were just like, we'll give you like a little bit, but then you can't say this, but you can say this. So you get it's very you gotta walk on eggshells. Like,
Which is the most likely reason to put the kibosh on the interview for now. Is like they'd just be worried that too much information will get out and somebody got their panties in a bundle or whatever, which is like, oh no, we gotta wait. But
yeah, because it
know.
was funny because I guess I'm pretty sure that the person that messaged me had talked about it previously with producers, but something changed really quickly, or there was something that he wasn't considering, and then they said that's what happened. And that's the deal,
So no, there is no Winds of Winter announced date. We're trying to will it into being, I think, but the idea is that now that the air is cleared a little bit from the show ending, people are ready to think about the Winds of Winter a little more. And
this is not a bong. Someone said, "Is this a bong?" It's not.
No, they're petrified squid tentacles, kind of. Not exactly. There's a more scientific name, but
we got George Hyde in the werewood too.
Yeah.
There we go.
Some Children of the Forest. We got a crystal ball. Don't worry, we've got an elaborate series of props for these videos that we're getting into. But no, basically we're just looking at some of the things that are coming in the Winds of Winter, and instead of a general way, we picked 23 topics and they did a little outline with each one and explored just some of the possibilities. We didn't try to overly nail down predictions, but rather just sort of set the table.
Trying to figure out what could happen.
That's right.
Because a lot of stuff can happen. Like George R. Martin sets all this stuff up, but he still leaves it open so it could go different ways. You know what I mean?
If you guys want to see a bong, I can go get the bong. I mean, it's not like we don't have a bong.
They're like bong, 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 bong.
Yeah, it is a brand Funko. That is correct.
It is indeed.
And the Child of the Forest that fell over.
He's in this little weird wheelchair. I actually don't have this brand when I think at the house. I don't have it, but this guy does. Yeah. So yeah, we're talking about pretty much everything in the Winds of Winter that you can think about. All the major stuff. We're gonna be talking about Stannis, Shireen, Lysandra, what happens at Winterfell, the Wall, a bunch of Dany stuff that's super interesting. And I've really just thought about a lot of the Dany stuff since I've been here, and there's a lot of really cool stuff that could potentially happen with her character.
Yeah, with the stallion who mounts and the Dosh Colleen and all that thing.
Atlantis, really cool ideas there. There's a lot.
Yeah, the Volantis thing I'm definitely getting excited about. I was almost tempted to add a 24th just to talk about Marwyn, but we crammed a little bit of Marwyn the Mage talk in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you guys know my riff on that.
Marwyn
Glass
the
Candles.
Mage.
I get excited about Glass Candles.
Indeed. Yeah. Alyssa Patience says, Dany, clap, clap, clap. Yes, indeed, Dany.
Mother of Krakens, I let him roll some J's. Don't worry. I didn't make him. I am working on the bong hit conversion here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bonger. But we twisted some, don't worry.
Oh, yeah. And, after this, we'll probably be rolling something else again.
Yep.
Someone said, what's tobacco bells sound like? Bong, bong, bong. What?
You're just going to have to call this the braid appreciation live stream. It looks
The
like.
braid appreciation. Yeah, I know my braids look good. And they probably, if I had streamed a few days ago when they were super fresh, they would look even better.
The lady did a real good job on them.
She killed them.
I mean, it is Chicago. So
Chicago, man.
I was like, yeah, you could probably find a place to braid your hair. Well, I'm thinking.
It makes me feel like I need a new person to braid them back at home, because the lady here was just she took her time and she didn't braid them too tight. Usually the lady that does them at home, she braids them so tight and they end up pulling my hair and I have to take them out. But yeah.
Upgrade.
The
Rhaegar show was amazing, LML. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'll be doing more ridiculous stuff like that. Maybe even something about Dune. Who knows?
Dune.
Or as it could be called, Dorne.
Dorne. Yeah. I feel like Frank Herbert named it Dorne as a riff on Dune a little bit. It's like Dorne, Dune. It almost sounds too simple.
You mean Martin named it
yeah.
Dorne after, yeah.
Yeah, what did I say?
Frank Herbert writing
Oh.
a song of Ice and Fire, but he
Yeah.
didn't. So that's
Everybody
okay,
knows
yeah.
Frank Herbert wrote a song of Ice and Fire.
As everyone knows.
Quinn, who's the true villain? You're on the others. That's a good question.
What
'Cause-
if those converge?
Yeah, right. What if they're one and the same almost? You know, the others are kind of like a force of nature. I mean, they have. I'm sure they've got like some deeper like motivation and shit going on. There's more shit going on. But like as far as like evil, I don't think they're evil. That's the thing. They're not like villain. But Euron is an evil man. Like Euron wants to hurt and cause pain, and he likes it. And the others are operating based off of their nature. You know what I mean?
One thing I wonder about is the possibility that we will get a Night King in the books eventually, and that the others are looking for a leader. And basically, it would either be Jon or Euron that they're trying to capture. If you look at the Waymar prologue, Waymar is a foreshadowing for Jon, and the others, in a way, kind of, you know, capture Waymar and turn him into a white with one blue eye, which is symbolism and stuff. So I wonder if maybe Euron, in the Lovecraftian sense, playing with magic he doesn't understand, opening up portals to other dimensions, could somehow, if there is a Night King inside the Weirwood Net or in some sort of ethereal plane, like the guy from Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, is it Inaluki or whatever? Like,
I've never read that series. That's
well,
gray
I mean,
area,
I mean, it's just one of those tropes, like the evil source. Like, I mean, it's Sauron, right? Like he doesn't have a corporeal body, but he wants to reincarnate. So if there is any kind of Night King figure that happens, Euron is the best one. So that would be cool.
And it's cool because of Euron is so arrogant. He's convinced, I'm going to become a god. I'm going to become a god. Well, yes, you are, because I'm possessing you. But, you know.
Yeah, and I like to study archetypes. And although there isn't a Night King in the books, there is a Night King archetype. And there's a lot of characters like Aemond One Eye from the Dance of the Dragons, Euron, Waymar, Stannis, even Jon Snow a little bit, and a couple others too, that seem to share a same body of symbolism. Just like we say multiple characters have the Azor Ahai symbolism, there's multiple characters that have Night King symbolism. And that makes me wonder if we won't get an actual Night King beyond Euron. But Euron might just level up and sort of become a Night King-like figure too. So
for anybody that's just came in, about to do an interview, I got a message from the producer a few days after the initial message was sent that said it's going to be postponed. It'll be happening sometime in December, I assume, after the movie's actually out. And I'll be interviewing Brian Herbert, Kevin J. Anderson, and somebody else that you guys all know. So that's the deal. And I'll just keep saying that until we're done with this stream. Quinn, see, everyone just get out of your system and tell me how good I look, right? Tell me how good I look.
Or just keep it coming in a steady flow throughout the entire stream.
Shower me with your praise, because it's filling up my ego in a way that I need.
It's a nice balm, yes.
Yeah. The endorphins are rushing through my mind. I'm going to wear my braids more often, you know. You guys really like them. You guys digging this Adidas jacket too, right? It's new. Just got it. It's cold in Chicago. It's weird. Like a lot of times in Georgia, even like when it's cold, I don't have to wear a jacket. I'm just, I can deal with this. So I got here thinking like, I don't need one. I don't need one. I ended up buying like 4 jackets.
I was like, that winds of winter is no joke.
I bought like 4 jackets.
And that's what I kept telling you. It's like, it's good writing experience to experience, like, you know, because when you think about Tormund talking about what it's like near the others, it's like, just think of the coldest thing you felt and then jack it up even more. Right. So cold it hurts to breathe. Your face hurts. It's like a knife in your chest.
You gotta be frozen.
It really does get that cold.
I mean, like, I said frozen, not even thinking about the cold, but it's like, it would just like kind of just make you like not even like want to move. It would be like you're like in a box almost because of the cold. It's like, man, it's pain.
I'm just checking on the chat here. A little bit of rhyming and scheming happen here.
Yeah, man, it's cold up here, man. We're up in the north. We're up in the north, and it's not good.
So I see somebody mentioning, and it's just a random direction to go in. You know, I refuse to believe RLJ. It's too obvious and cliched for George Martin. So one thing I will talk about is the idea of tropes and George Martin. It's sort of a little bit of a misconception that he doesn't do tropes or that he defies tropes. What he likes to do is take tropes and drag them down into the mud and ask really like, what would it be like? And so Jon is the promised prince. He is the hidden prince, but so many things are twisted about it. Like he doesn't know it, for example. Most of the people that know it are dead. Ned was about to tell him, and then he didn't find out. And his whole identity has been based around being an outcast and a night's watchman. And then when it does come around, we should prepare for even more inversions of tropes. You know, like Jon isn't just going to be like made king all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
He almost certainly won't make a play for the throne. And we'll have to see what it, you know, how he relates to Dany based on his lineage. But I would just point out, not commenting on RLJ in particular, but just the idea that, oh, something is too cliche for George. Just, you know, he'll do the cliche, but he's going to drag it down into the mud, and he's going to ask, how would it really, really work? It's the whole Aragorn's tax policy question. He's interested in how a fantasy element would translate in the hands of real people.
George R. R. Martin loves fantasy tropes, but he, like you said, he's trying to make them real. Like, what if this was the real world? How would it go down? For sure.
Yeah,
that's a good way to put it. It's like kind of how like Cersei is like the evil queen from Snow White, because it's like the fairer, more beautiful queen will come cast me down, but she's like that brought to like a more like gritty, real sense.
Right. What would that look like? Well, let's make her paranoid, and let's have lots of trauma happen to her, and she's a victim of patriarchy, and she's an alcoholic, and she had the whole marital rape situation with Robert, and all of that goes into a stew to create the person that Cersei is, and obviously Tywin's influence. And
someone said George does cliche Arya's one. No, don't be so sure about that. Don't be so sure about that.
Well, I mean, again, in the sense that I was saying, you know, he doesn't shy away from it. I mean, he's doing the little girl assassin cliche, but like, well, what would that look like? And so again, we expect to see in the books Arya paying the cost of all the things she's doing. Like Arya is kind of a tragedy, and I think that comes across more in the books already.
Oh yeah,
the tragedy of her character. So
yeah, Arya's like messed up and gradually just like more and more desensitized, and just like, no, she's not gonna be.
So the cliche is like what the show did, where she's just a badass and then doesn't have to pay an emotional price for it. Really, what we're going to see in the books is going to be a lot darker and a lot more sad. Her
psyche is already becoming more and more twisted. The way she just thinks of things, it's just like, it's Someone says, "Thanks for pointing that out, Quinn. Now I have more fairy tales."
Oh, that's Alyssa. Yeah, she loves fairy tales. In fact, she's going to be on my A Dance with Dragons stream, and we're going to talk about some of the Dany Cinderella parallels. That's going to be this Sunday, actually.
Heck yeah. Oh, someone said if Arya has to kill Stoneheart too, that'd be cool.
It'd be the ultimate gift of mercy, and who needs that? Stoneheart's death would be a mercy, so I think that would make a lot of sense.
It'd be peace for her, because she's just like this vengeful creature that she's not who she was.
So Jed mentions, I don't think Arya's story is going to end well personally.
I agree.
So one thing that's interesting to me, I could see her doing a similar thing where she sails off into the great beyond like she does in the show, but it won't be this happy, like, let's go adventuring. It'll be more like I can't associate with humanity anymore, so I'm just going to go off by myself somewhere, more of that kind of thing.
I kind of also like, I don't know if Alt Shift X came up with this, but I was watching one of his videos on Arya, and he was like, he brought the idea that she could die and just like live through her wolf and rule the wolf pack.
Yeah, yeah,
that'd be cool.
Because
then she'd be a wolf.
I can see that. Yep. So other people saying the same thing in the chat. Yep.
Let's see what's going on in the chat. I think Arya's going to. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what yeah. So David Cook says, I always thought when Jon is resurrected, he will be evil like Stoneheart. So I don't know about evil. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this specifically, exactly how the resurrection of Jon Snow might potentially change him. So that's a whole part of one of the videos that we're going to put out in March. We have a lot of ideas about that.
Yeah, there's reason to hope that he'll be a little more, he'll have more of his humanity than Stoneheart or Beric, simply because of the skin changer mechanism. Definitely has reason to be pissed off at the same time. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Oh, he'll be mad. And then, for the reason that we said, he might be even more aggressive about the whole thing. Because we see him in the show, like, comes out and he's kind of like sad about having to like execute like some of the traitors or whatever. But I feel like the book version is going to be like, no, motherfucker, you're done. But let's see.
Yeah, he's got to be in Ghost. Of course he's in Ghost.
Yeah.
It has been foreshadowed. And those were his last words.
It's heavily foreshadowed.
Yep.
Heavily foreshadowed.
Mhm.
Quinn's ideas. I love your channel and videos. If your character Tadia,
I think
sorry
it's-
for misspelling. That's correct spelling.
That's actually right. Yeah.
Could be friends with a Song of Ice and Fire character. Who would it be? That is such a good question. I think Tadia could potentially. She could hang out with Danny, maybe. Or then again, she might clash with Danny because they're both a little bit kind of high strung at times. I don't know. See, Tadia is kind of like an outcast. So I could see she likes to do her own thing and hang out. And I invented the character Ekate in my series to kind of like pull her out of that. So I feel like, but she'd probably hang around like maybe like characters like Sansa because that's who she'd be expected to be around, but she wouldn't like necessarily connect.
She reminds me of some of the wily Targaryens from the Dance of the Dragons.
Mhm.
Maybe a little.
She's a
more.
little bit like that, yeah. For sure.
Just from what you're saying.
Totally.
George would write an awkward Tadia Danny sex scene. That's funny.
That'd be interesting. And yeah, also if you don't know about Tadia, you can get put on the mailing list. The link is not in the description right now, but if you just Google Tadia, TADHYA, it should come up and you get put on the Indiegogo mailing list. And yeah, Matthew Weldon will be drawing the art.
Bonesaw's ready. He's asking about Dragonbinder. Do we think it will work? Well, it's more like, do we think how it will work? And we've got a good section about that in the Marine video. But in short, where the first thing it might do is potentially help Victarion control the dragons, not in a like steal them way, but in a way that might help him build rapport with Danny, like help control the dragons. But we just don't know. I mean, I don't see the dragons being hypnotized to the point where they're like zombies or something. I think of a dog whistle like where they like you blow a dog whistle and it sort of comes and sits, right?
Yeah, and it helps, right? And yeah, I agree. And you know, they've already set it up, which is why I feel like this is important. They've set it up that Danny at least has some kind of resistance to fire going. It's not like an exact resistance, but there's like events like the pyre can happen. She can take like hotter baths and shit like that. So if you look at the way the Dragonbinder works, you've got people blowing it and then they'll cook from the inside. And I'm thinking that Danny, since she's got the Valyrian blood, if she takes the Dragonbinder and blows it, probably the same thing is not going to happen to her.
Yeah, I've always wondered about that possibility too.
But okay, I should probably answer what somebody was asking me to about Tadia. So Alyssa says, when will the first part be emailed out? All right, so here's the deal. You get put on the email list so you can get coupons and early access stuff for when it actually does come out in a few months. So that's what the email list is for. So you get the first hand. Someone else says, are you selling it through Amazon too? Yes, but only after the initial campaign is over. And then we'll take the books, put them on Amazon for like the people that have like waited and so they can keep selling and stuff like that. So cool. Yeah, that answers your questions.
I think Euron and the Dragonbinder will bite him in the butt. Priscilla says Danny's dragons are very special and they will not be controlled the way Euron expects. Yeah, I definitely think there's room for Euron, like Melisandre, to overestimate his knowledge of arcana and magical lore.
Look, his whole plan is to blow up in space. Euron has been running around, learning all this stuff. He thinks he is, but that's the thing. It's only been, how long was Euron missing? 12 years, something like that?
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. Yeah.
So he's probably like seen all this stuff and really amazed and thinks he knows, but really he's only just like tipped his nose into this weird esoteric stuff. It's beyond him ultimately.
And he very clearly understands the trappings of power lesson that Melisandre was explaining to Jon, which is projecting power, intimidation, using ideas, to make people impressed with you. So there's no question that some of that's going on.
Yes.
And Chris B says, I'm convinced Danny's going to learn a bunch of magical knowledge and power from Quaithe and Marwyn. Absolutely.
I agree.
Marwyn's on the way to Slaver's Bay, probably has a glass candle. That's just going to help Danny see truths in a shy or contact Quaithe or God knows what. I'm very excited for
part of our Marine episode as well.
Yeah.
Right, Marine one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone says Melisandre was able to bond with Ghost in ways we only thought Jon could. I wouldn't dismiss Euron affecting Danny's dragons just yet. But that's Melisandre, though. She's a witch. She knows all types of stuff. Who knows what that woman can do?
And I don't think anyone's dismissing Euron affecting Danny's dragons. I think we're just opening the possibility that he might not understand exactly how the horn works.
Exactly.
Makoro probably has the best guess, but I mean, these horns haven't been used for hundreds of years and nobody alive has seen them used. So
yeah, exactly.
It's definitely anything.
Big guessing game.
Yeah, it is.
But back to that point about Melisandre though, like because we have a whole point about Melisandre, like in one of the episodes where it's about like she's really a wild card because like still we don't know exactly the full stint of like what exactly she can do. Like we've seen like some of the stuff, but like maybe I don't think we've seen her best move yet by far. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we there's been a couple of times that we speculated about what she could do, and we both said the same thing. Yeah, we don't know what the limits are, and that's really a good point. That Mad Danny brings up. Like that was a really weird scene.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't necessarily bond with Ghost, but she called him, and
Mhm.
Ghost obeyed her and not John.
Yeah.
So that's really impressive. I mean, maybe it's the Blood Raven family connection theory, but it seems like she's got some serious magic. So it'll be exciting to see what happens with that.
Priscilla says Euron dies by the end of the next book. Okay, interesting prediction.
Potentially, it could be that he's going to hold us until the others are fully invaded, and he'll die at that point if he doesn't like become a Night King or something.
So Matt Falgo, I can't say last names.
I think it's Folger.
Matt Folger. When Bran is falling through space with the three-eyed crow, there are no stars. Bran, Game of Thrones, number 3. Is this important contrast to Danny getting wisdom from the stars?
Probably not.
Yeah.
When I tend to see no stars imagery, I tend to think of darkness and long night symbolism. But
darkness will be your shield. Isn't that said to Bran?
Yeah,
like
for
that?
sure, for sure. But I think I've seen the idea of starry wisdom and weirwood wisdom juxtaposed a lot of times. So ultimately, I think both of those are just ways of talking about the astral plane and things like that. So
yeah, okay. Yeah. So thank you for your super chat. Sorry, we don't have a more conclusive answer, but that's the deal. Oops.
I do think there are I think there's some interesting parallels between the influence that Bloodraven has on Bran and Quave has on Danny. I think they're very comparable. Yeah.
Cool.
And yes, Crispy, Melisandre POV chapter in the next book is going to be one of the ones to look forward to.
Aaron, to answer your question, I don't know. All we can do is just wait, and hopefully he'll give us something. We'll see. We shall see. Yep, guys. But we've been here working hard on this whole Winds of Winter thing. We're really excited about it. It's gonna be 23 videos in March, right? So we're gonna be like flipping back and forth between our channels. It's super exciting.
It's a little bit like throwing 23 balls up in the air and hoping we can juggle them all.
Yeah. I mean, they're coming along now. We're starting to pump some workout at this point. But yeah, we've been working really hard trying to do these outlines.
Yeah, we did a lot of prep work.
Yeah, we did. I think we've been doing a good job.
More than either one of us usually does.
Yeah.
Because it was such a sprawling project.
And I haven't even been here a week. And I think we've done a pretty significant amount of work for like the amount of days that I've been here, honestly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Marvin Martin, for your super chat. Could Ramsay or Euron in a Gollum twist end up being crucial to saving the world in some way? Not Ramsay. I think Ramsay's done for. But not Euron either. I think Euron is all about.
It would be Baelish might be that character.
Baelish, yeah. I think Euron is bringing on the chaos, man. Euron. He wants to bring about. He says the bleeding star bespoke the end. These are the days when the world shall be broken and remade. So Euron has an interest. He wants to commit. He wants to go about this like apotheosis and become a god. He has an interest in like everything going in shit.
Oh yeah, SKG Anno says Theon is probably the Gollum twist. That
would make a lot more sense.
That does. Yeah, he's very Gollum-like.
But yeah, like I said, Euron is more interested in making everything go to shit. Yeah, Theon is like, oh, reek, rhymes with leak. You know, I thought maybe they were gonna do something like that in Game of Thrones, where Bran's like, Theon, you're a good man. Psych. It'd be funny if like after he falls, Bran's like, just kidding.
Well, and that's another plot line that's gonna really hit the fan, and we'll talk about that in the Battle of Winterfell. But Theon is potentially in a position to get sacrificed to that tree.
Whoa. Oh yeah, because you remember like Bran whispers to him and shit, and Winterfell is like,
the ravens are all tree.
Yeah, some creepy shit.
Because they're talking about burning him, and Asha trying to help him and be like, well, you should sacrifice him to the weirwood tree, thinking that'll be like better than being burned, which yeah, it would be. Or maybe just buy more time.
Dude, what if he gets sacrificed to the werewolf tree, and then there's like a scene with Theon and Bran on the astral plane or some shit?
I mean, something's gonna happen
That'd be
there.
interesting.
Let's put it this way: Theon and Bran have been developing a connection through that weird tree.
Yeah.
Theon, because of his very messed up state, is able to tune in a little bit to that frequency of the rustling leaves and stuff. So that's clearly going somewhere, and probably we'll see something happen on that island with the weirwood tree. I would think.
That's what's so cool, because like that's a fucking language, man. That's the language of the children of the forest. It's like when Bran calls out to Ned, and then Bloodraven is like, "Oh, he just heard the wind or the rustling of the leaves." He's not lying, because that
Theon actually heard his name, though,
right?
so.
But maybe he really did hear the wind,
Mm-hmm.
but he interpreted it as his name. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, right?
Well, it's one of those things
Because
where,
it's like,
yeah. Well, he sensed the intent behind the wrestling.
yeah.
That's kind of it.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm
Bran
saying.
was trying to say his name.
Mhm.
Theon heard his name, and that was a very significant act, because that sort of gave Theon his name back.
Yeah.
And that's when he started acting courageously again and thinking about himself as Theon instead of Reek.
Dude, that whole Theon plot line where there's like the murders happening.
I
That's one
love
of the
that.
creepiest
I
plots.
really
I hate
loved
that they
all
didn't
that
do
stuff.
that, man.
The Mance Raider and the washerwomen. And I still hold out hope that Mance Raider is not in a cage and all 6 of them aren't dead, but we'll have to see. Obviously, a lot of them are dead, but
Yeah,
that was a well-written scene.
so good.
Or not even a scene, but just a whole drama,
yeah. That they just abandoned in the show.
Yeah, and over and over again, we were struck as we read some of these final chapters of Dance
Mhm.
that set the stage for what's going to happen in Winds. And we read the Winds advanced chapters. Like, this book is just going to be, it's going to be violent, it's going to be dark, climactic, and just like eye-popping.
Mhm.
Like, it's going to be some eye-popping stuff in there.
Oh yeah, man, I can't wait.
We've got a super chat from Marvin Martian. GRRM said that the villain is a hero in their own head. I can only do this for
So long. What about the Mountain, Euron, Ramsay, Joffrey? Don't some just want to watch the world burn?
Nice Batman quote.
Well, it definitely stretches. I mean, when you have a sociopath, it stretches that idea of a hero of their own story. But the thing is, for a sociopath or an extreme narcissist, they really are their hero of their own story in like an unhealthy way. And so, you know, you have to figure out what their motivations
Another
are.
thing is, Euron knows he's evil. He's all coming to Aaron like, yeah, I've murdered my brother.
He's amoral.
Yeah, he
he's
doesn't care.
Yeah, and there's a whole line of thought about certain kinds of leaders, authoritarian leaders, using amorality as a way of shock and awe. And Euron is definitely doing something along those
But
lines.
I get the sense that Euron legitimately does not care. Like, cause look at his past. He murdered his brothers and molested them and did all this awful stuff. He knows that he's a sick, twisted person.
Yeah,
But
hero
he just doesn't care that he is.
basically hero doesn't necessarily mean good. It just means that
He's a hero for himself.
like, for some people, their morality is self-interest.
Uh-huh.
That is their morality.
Mhm.
That's what they believe is right, is self-interest. And that would be like Ramsay, for example.
Mhm.
Joffrey is a whole different bag of worms because he's 13.
Mhm.
So you have to look at
And a prince.
yeah.
And his mother is Cersei.
Yeah. And his father was Robert.
Yeah.
So
Anybody will become a sociopath.
Bonesaw asks, do you think Shireen will be burned to resurrect Jon? We came up with either that
Multiple possibilities.
or perhaps what should we tell? Should we say?
I gotta give it away. Save it.
We think that's one possibility. We did find a couple other interesting possibilities too that Shireen could be burned for. It will be more than to just stop a snowstorm like it was in the show.
Yeah.
So
Heck yeah. Didn't young Griff get roasted?
yes, he did get roasted.
Yeah. He's done for. I know
He
some people
died.
think he's alive. But
No, he's
done.
dead.
He's done. He's nice and charred. They should just give him to the dragons. It'd be a cool death. Just send him off. Finish him. He's all burnt up laying in bed. That sucks.
Yeah, Joffrey couldn't have had like 2 worse parents, really. I mean, he did turn out different than Myrcella and Tommen, but at the same time, like, he couldn't have had worse parents.
Think about the scene where like he cuts open the cat because he wants to see like the belly. Any parent would be horrified, but I would like try and explain to my kid why that's a horrible thing, right? I would just like beat him up or
And
whatever.
Cersei was like that too. Cersei pushed her friend down a well at like age 10.
She was crazy.
So
So it's
I don't know.
Maybe it just runs in the family. Maybe it's just
Maybe
like-
she's born with it. Maybe it's psychopathy.
right. Oh, nice cornrows, bro, says Long John Lannister. Thank you.
Yo, bro. Thank you, bro.
Thank you for complimenting my cornrows. Joffrey was made a monster, not born one. It's arguable.
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Selyse will probably be the one to consent to the burning of Shireen.
Oh, more than likely.
Stannis is not there, so probably will be Shireen.
Yeah.
But like we were saying, Stannis should live long enough to grapple with it at the very least.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, guys, we're going to stream a little bit longer. I know this is kind of a little bit of a shorter stream, but really the main thing with this is I wanted to get on here and just let you guys know what was up with the interview. And like I said, it has been postponed, but it has expanded and gotten bigger. And I'll be interviewing Brian Herbert, Kevin J. Anderson, as well as another mystery person who you all will most likely know. And I'm sure you'll be very excited to hear from this person. We'll be talking about the Dune movie that'll be out by that time, and then also some other stuff in the Dune fandom. Super exciting. Like I said, I know you guys are a little sad. I'm just a little bit disappointed that we don't get the interview before the movie, but it's the way it worked out. So, yeah.
Thanks for being patient. And I'm sure I speak for everybody when I say we're support you and we're patient. And
glad it's still happening. That's the best part. That's the best part.
All right,
guys.
Well, like I said, I am doing a stream this Sunday. I haven't set the time yet, but you follow me. Lucifer Means Lightbringer YouTube channel. Follow me at the Dragon LML on Twitter, and I'll get the word out. But it'll be a Dance with Dragons, Danny read along stream. Not read along, but basically I've been rereading each book, just the Danny stuff, doing a detailed analysis, and then doing a discussion of the character and the foreshadowing, just so we can separate the book character from the show character, kind of. And it's been a lot of fun. So
absolutely, guys. Yeah. All right, asking what happened. Well, if you don't know what happened, just rewind the stream because I've said it about 4 or 5 times.
There you go.
But we've got to get going, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll leave this stream up actually until in the morning, and then I'll make an official post and just let everybody know what's going down with the interview for the new Dune movie. Thanks everyone for coming out and chatting with us. This will be about 3 a.m. my time. This is about 3:30 a.m. my time. So
nice.
I'm glad that you guys came and watched me ramble for a little bit. And yeah, like we said, we got our project coming up and all that. So peace, guys. Thanks for hanging with us for a little bit.